Happy Wednesday and welcome to this edition of Marks of Maturity. This week I wanted to take a look at the spiritual discipline of restraint. This is a season, the Christmas season here, where it's a season of generosity and we want to be giving and kind and good and all those things, but it can also be a season of indulgence and over partaking, sometimes of poor choices, those sorts of things. So how do we, as followers of Jesus, demonstrate the maturity that we're called to in this particular season? Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 through 25 says this. I'm sure you'll recognize most of this. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. And then it says this. Those who belong to Christ Jesus have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. What an interesting statement. What a powerful statement. What a convicting statement. That if we belong to Jesus, then we don't just minimize the desires of the flesh, we kill them. He says we crucify them, we put them to death, the flesh with its passions and desires. Since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit. Now, in this season, I think that there are probably at least three things that are common to most of us, where we might experience temptation or just moments where we move from just enjoying something that's good into an overpartaking or into an indulgence where we don't demonstrate restraint. The first one is food. Now, food is important. It matters for health. It matters for life. We need to fuel our bodies, and hopefully, we're all in the general habit of eating well and eating appropriately. But in these seasons, in the holiday seasons, it can be so easy because the food is all so good and it smells wonderful, and all of that good baking and all of that. I love all of the Christmas baking for sure, and those European, the chocolate covered cookies that you can get there at Costco in the tins. And I could just eat a lot of that if I let myself. And so we all have those things that we ought to be able to recognize and go, oh, partaking a little bit of this actually isn't a bad thing, but when am I crossing that line? When am I moving into just really indulging in something that's not healthy for me? It's not good. When am I kind of trying to satisfy the flesh here rather than following Christ and demonstrating self-control? So I'll leave that in your capable hands, and just think about that as you go through this season of celebration and Christmas parties. The second area that I think we can all struggle in is money. Yes, this is a season of generosity. This is a season of giving. But I hope that by the time we get to the end of the season, we don't find ourselves going, I really couldn't afford the things that I gave this season. I put myself into harm's way, and I shouldn't have done that. And I did it out of obligation, or I did it because I wanted to look good, or I wanted to get that certain reaction from somebody, but I was overspending. So this might be too late for this particular admonition, but think about the money that you're spending and how you can be generous, but do it in a sense of restraint and self-control. And then finally, alcohol. Now, some of you are abstainers from alcohol, and so you've got this squared away already. But for others, you do drink on occasion, and this again can be a season where it just can get out of control, and it leads to bad choices, and it's all around, and people are, it's just out there more. And so in your celebrations, in your festivities, in all of this, I just encourage you to demonstrate restraint in these three areas of your lives. Listen to the Spirit, and take those words to heart. Those who belong to Christ Jesus have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. So let's live by the Spirit, keep in step with the Spirit. I love you guys. Have a very Merry Christmas.